Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes with Marvin. I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. And in this video, I'm going to share a very unique experience that happened to me that might resonate with you in some way, shape, or form. Um, it's something that's not really discussed, but it's real. Uh, it's reality. And are you living in reality, or have you created a your own matrix, your own false reality? It's one that I've experienced recently, and I like sharing my experiences here with you. So here we go. Um, if you have been following me, I thank you. Um, you know that I was on a mission, and to get to my destinations, the destinations I had on my vision board, and one by one, I was knocking them out, and I finally got to Mount Shasta. And for a while there, I thought Mount Shasta was going to be my home. Um, it was very real. But as of recently, I realized that I, it, I was deceiving myself. I was looking for Shangri La. I was looking for the perfect place. And I was led by all the mysticism about Mount Shasta, about what I read, just different things like um, the esoteric aspects of it. There's a Lemurian society living in the mountain, with other beings, and it being a portal and UFOs and all that. And to some extent, that may be true. I certainly did experience quite a few things out there. I'm not gonna lie. The things that at some point I'll go into more detail about, because I think that more people like myself are experiencing these things, and um, it needs to be discussed. But what I'm specifically, referring to with Mount Shasta was the allure of Mount Shasta. I got there, and there was a lot of energies, and then I felt like I had to ground myself with these energies before I went up to the mountain. Now, that was my first clue as to, I should have questioned that. Why didn't I just go up to Mount Shasta? If I went there to go up to that mountain, why didn't I go there in the first week? I waited an entire week to go up to the mountain. And then when I got there, I felt a lot of energies, heavy energies, but I was so disillusioned with the whole mysticism about it that I wasn't thinking clearly. So, but I climbed the mountain, and again, that should have been enough, but it wasn't. I found a place to stay for a week, and then I found another place to stay, and then all of a sudden, it almost became like I had to stay there, almost like it was forcing me to stay there. Some energy around me was forcing me to stay there, but I didn't realize it. I was disillusioned. I was like, this is a place. I'm starting to meet people. I'm staying at this beautiful little cozy inn, but I'm going to start looking for an apartment. Um, but then what I've started realizing and um, was that I became a prisoner in that little cozy little inn because, if you followed my story, when I was out in Colorado and in Arizona, I wasn't, I was in a tent and staying in some places, but I was mostly outdoors exploring. I got to Mount Shasta, and I went up to Mount Shasta, and I camped at Panther Meadows, and I went to a park one day in the lake. I was there for 3 weeks, and I wasn't grounding. I was barely going out. I wasn't leaving the room. And I was using that as an excuse of saying, no, I have to stay in the room, because I have to get my work done, so I have to be in a stable environment, but I wasn't leaving my room. That's now looking back on it, I say I created a prison for myself based around this mysticism about Mount Shasta. So Are you doing the same thing for yourself? Have you created yourself an environment where now you feel so comfortable that you can't leave, that you feel you can't go anywhere else and you can't get anything done, and you created a prison for yourself. It happens, folks. And I thought, you know, I'm, on the ball. My frequencies are high. I can never allow anything like that to happen to myself. But yet here I was, and I did. And it was the other day where some things were happening, and I got to tell you, the energies weren't good. And I started to realize and recognize that I wasn't leaving the place, and I was looking so desperately for a place that um, I energetically forced everything away, and I wasn't finding anything. Then I started getting desperate, and I was going to take anything. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't move all the way out here to relocate myself to find a cheap place to live that's not going to be comfortable. It was just for me to stay in Shasta. And that's when I realized Shasta was a deception. There was this energy around me that I created that was keeping me there just for some fantasy. It wasn't real. And then I discussed it with some friends, and they started sending me some concerns that energetically they didn't feel that Shasta was right for me, but they respected my free will and they didn't say anything to me about it. But in the moment when I finally snapped out of it and realized it, they started pouring in the support and the love, and I knew that I had to get out of there. And you say, oh, you just had to leave? I was like, yeah, I literally, that Saturday morning, I felt the need to get out of there. It happened to be October 30th, the night before Halloween, but something told me, don't stay here for Halloween. And I didn't. I started driving away, and I drove. Next thing I know, I'm 7 hours away. I just packed up all my stuff, and somewhere where I was thinking about staying for a while, all of a sudden I was gone. Adios, Mount Shasta. And it's a good thing. My energy's actually lifted, and I felt lighter. And it's funny because I noticed the the clouds around Mount Shasta um, as I was leaving, and it was dark and ominous. You know, not that I was afraid or anything, but I was like, there's something energetically not right here. And the minute I got 2 or 3 hours away, the sky was clear, blue. It didn't even take that long, but that's when I noticed it. And I said to myself, why did I keep myself in that prison? And there was no reason for it. So, are you doing the same thing with yourself and your life? And I'm not saying if you have a family, you're tied into that, you're locked into that. But is the reason why you chose to have a family because it was what you were supposed to do? Somebody else told you, and you created this illusion of having a family life would be the thing for you, and it would make you so happy. And now you realize that you're not, and now you're stuck, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you're never stuck, folks. And, if you have a family that's beautiful, and you love them, but, there comes a time when you got to decide, is this the right thing for my family? Am I in the right place in my mental state to really take care of my family and do what's best for the family? If the answer is no, then you gotta hightail it, not just up and leave your family, but figure it out where the place is for your family, not just a comfortable place because you have friends around and the school system's nice. Those things are great, but if you're not fulfilled and you're not feeling it, that energetically, that's gonna imprison you. And you may say, well, it doesn't look like a prison. It doesn't have to. It may look like Shangri-La. It may look like paradise, but yet you feel stuck and you're not creating and you're not doing anything for yourself, for your family, and moving forward in your life. That's a prison, folks. So really, the point of this video is just to stop and think. And if something seems really way too good to be true, then stop giving it energy and say, wait a minute, let me step back and really look at this and decide, is this really what I want right now? And if it is, fantastic. But if it isn't, start questioning those things, because you get in such a state where this is where you thought you want it to be, and it really isn't. And if you don't recognize that, it's going to lead to some bad times for you. Mount Shasta, as beautiful as it was, and I had a great experience there, and I'm grateful for the experiences there. If I had stayed there another day, I would have been trapped there in my own prison that I created. So we create our own prisons, folks. Um, and it's great, have the experience, right? Honor yourself for having those experiences. Don't look at it as good or bad, but just say, I experienced this and I choose not to experience it anymore. And then make changes, take positive steps to make whatever changes are necessary, like I did. I just got out of there. I don't know where I'm going next. I'm not going to, where I'm going to wind up, but I know it wasn't there. It's good for you to get out of your comfort zones. If you're too comfortable somewhere, I mean, really too comfortable, but you're not happy, you've created a prison for yourself. So just recognize that and see that for what it is. And just once you make it, yourself aware of it, you're going to find other steps to either change it or just know that you're there and you're going to stay there. So, but remember, I am a transformational life coach. So if you get that aha moment where you need help, getting more clarity and bringing things up so you can see them for what they really are. Um, the link to my website is down below. Just leave your email there and I'll get in touch with you, and we'll have a 30-minute free decompression session, figure out how you can move on with your life, and how I can help. Um, so if you like the contents of this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, leave a comment. Let me know if you realize that you're in a prison, your own prison. It's real. That's reality. Everything else is can be deception, but you create that deception for yourself. So don't create any more deception for yourself. Realize that you are deceiving yourself, and it's only you that you are deceiving, and make whatever changes. Take positive steps to changing that. And please subscribe to my channel if you like this content. And whew, I'm glad that I realized I created a prison for myself, and I'm out of there. So do the same for yourself, folks. Take a good deep look, and see through the matrix, the deception that you created, and free yourself like I did. And have an amazing day.